Welcome to Review the PS2, my eternal quest to review every PS2 game. I had no intention of reviewing today's game so early in this series, but I recently saw some news that changed my plans. After 50 years, we're getting a new anime adaptation of Dororo, a series created by the great-granddaddy of manga himself, Osamu Tezuka. I saw the PVs, I saw a lot of things I liked, and I figured that there would be no better time to talk about the Dororo video game, Blood Will Tell. Dororo is the story of a teen named Hyakimaru. As an infant, his father traded away all of his body parts to 48 fiends so that he could become powerful enough to rule the world. A great doctor adopted Hyaki, raised him, and gave him a prosthetic body so he could kill all of the fiends and reclaim his humanity. His body contains hidden weapons, such as blade arms, an elbow machine gun, and a leg cannon. He's a cool character with a huge, life-changing task ahead of him, and if you're not hooked, I don't know how to help you. In Blood Will Tell, you play as Hyakimaru and his thief companion Dororo as they journey from town to town, searching for fiends and dealing with whatever problems each town is facing. Most of the time you'll be playing as Hyakimaru, and Dororo will be controlled by an NPC that you can order around. She's pretty weak, so I just make her run around and collect items for me so that I can focus on the action. Hyaki has two sword stances he can switch between at a moment's notice. One lets him show off his swordsmanship and make use of whatever special sword he has equipped. With the other, the gloves come off, and he turns into a blender as he goes wild with spins and flips. You trade power for speed when you enter this mode, and the ability to quickly change stances lets you easily experiment with both. You can alternate between light and heavy attacks to create combos, and as Hyaki's speed stat increases, the length of the combos does as well. The blade arms gain experience and level up independently, whereas the swords have fixed levels and special traits, and you have to explore the levels thoroughly to find better swords. By searching these areas, you'll also find spirit attacks, which are extremely powerful moves when they don't whiff. On top of that, when you have the sword arms out, you can use Hyakimaru's machine gun to hit enemies from a distance, and at any time you can take a knee and wreck face with his leg cannon. I found that as I played the game, I never relied on one kind of attack to carry me. I was naturally using all of my weapons at the appropriate times, which I see as a testament to how well the combat is balanced. This balance comes to the forefront with the 48 fiends, who are all bosses. Each one has unique attacks and strategies, and fighting them will require you to understand the nuances of your attacks and know when to use them accordingly. Sometimes the boss can be staggered by hitting them in one of their weak points, and this opens them up for a spirit attack. Some bosses are fought best using hit-and-run tactics or well-aimed cannon shots. Some of them are stupidly easy, while others will test the limits of your playing ability, and they come in a great variety. You will see some fiends get recycled for later encounters, but even those bring new challenges into the mix. Even when you fight a fiend multiple times as part of the story, those fights are styled differently. Take this gross monster as an example. The first time you fight him, he can climb on the walls and force you to use your ranged weapons to bring him down. The second time you fight him, he cuts down bamboo and uses telekinesis to throw it at you in a number of patterns. Same enemy, yet two very different encounters. During the game's 8 chapters, you'll come across and fight a lot of fiends, but there are additional fiends that can be fought on the side, often requiring backtracking and puzzle solving in order to find them. Each slain fiend will reward you with one of Hyakimaru's body parts, whether it be an organ, a muscle, a bone, or even a chakra. That's not a body part. With each part comes a permanent increase in the appropriate stats. Getting your traps makes your attacks stronger, growing a backbone makes you more durable, and the more parts of your digestive system you get back, the more health you replenish from eating food. Some body parts come with their own abilities too. Your leg lets you dash, getting an eye lets you see in color, your ears help you recover from attacks quicker, etc. Having this cool progression system alongside this fun, balanced combat is enough for me to recommend the game, but it does come with some drawbacks. You don't get to control the camera. If you touch that right analog stick, you'll go into first-person mode, which is a useless feature. Furthermore, the lack of a fast travel system makes backtracking quite tedious. But those are only minor gripes. A more serious issue with the game would be the Dororo gameplay. Dororo is a little girl who isn't very good at fighting, so her level segments are all about platforming and puzzles. Most of the time, it's decent. The puzzles aren't too complicated and the platforming is basic, though the lack of proper camera control can make it difficult to gauge your jumps. However, there are times where the puzzles are completely unfair. This game likes to include something I refer to as bad game design, where they don't teach you about a game mechanic but expect you to know about it anyway. In one chapter, there's a part where Dororo has to sneak into someone's secret hideout, so there are a lot of puzzles all in a row. One of these requires you to climb to a higher platform without using anything you can stand on. Naturally, I thought you would use a block to get up there, since there's a block puzzle just before this, but the blocks don't fit into the room. On my first playthrough, I couldn't figure this out at all, and I had to give up and consult a walkthrough, only to learn that Dororo's thrown weapons have secondary uses. Some enemies in this room drop kunai, which you would assume was just a stronger weapon. Turns out you can throw it at certain walls to create footholds. How am I expected to know that? This mechanic is never hinted at or taught to us before encountering this puzzle, and it's never used afterward. Stuff like this happens from time to time in Blood Will Tell. They'll introduce a new mechanic such as crawling, roof climbing, or breakable doors, and then only use it for one part of a level or two and never return to it again. It doesn't make for satisfying challenges, it just frustrates the player. I see this stuff happen most often while playing as Dororo, and every chapter has a couple Dororo segments. It's the weakest part of Blood Will Tell. The game's strong points are its story and its hack-and-slash combat. Deviating from the action for a frustrating puzzle detracts from the experience. However, it's a bitter pill you have to swallow to be able to fully enjoy this action-packed adventure. If you want to do all the spinning and the slashing and the growing back of body parts, then you also have to deal with some poorly designed puzzles. Blood Will Tell is worth playing. Nowadays it's a bit expensive, and I don't expect the price to come down anytime soon unless the game gets re-released. If you can find it for $45 or under, it's worth picking up, but I don't think the game is so good that it justifies the current prices it's going for, which can also be due to the game's rarity. I'm excited for this new anime. I didn't want to bog down this review with my thoughts on it, so I'll be putting all that stuff in the blog. Alright, thanks for watching, now I can get back to what I was originally planning on reviewing.